It's the time for the package from China. Let's go! I didn't like is that they didn't have any, I'm not saying different color buttons. That would be like amazing if you have like just black D-pad and normal buttons. However, that's me being a little bit too nitpicky. The configuration, yeah, I must say that it's quite interesting. So where they went for the four front-facing buttons, we did see some have them 6. I love them for fighting games. And over here, the D-pad. However, the analog stick, they went for 1 and they placed it slightly different position. I mean, with Taker, normally you will always see it in the corner, and they went for the option to put it over here. And it's absolutely smart because this feels so much better. Form factor wise, this thing is quite big, and I must say that I like it, and it makes it very comfortable. At the back we're finding 4 shoulder buttons, and you can just see that they went for a different construction. And also, again, we're going to be putting it at the side, it has a different height. And you can actually just feel it, and you can press it fairly easy. Also, when it comes to the micro switch, let's say the feel, this is just great. So the front facing buttons have a very nice touch. However, they do have a very long and quite a lot of resistance. The D-pad with this, let's say, embryonic device, for me it feels like the right touch. It's very easy to navigate, but also the feedback on the membrane underneath feels quite nice. Option for 2 SD cards, one at the left. So let's do a quick look in this. And like, is this the same shenanigans? Yep. I don't know if this is a very good brand, but I know with these like SD cards, I would always recommend backing them up through an SD card or just maybe another SD card, let's say backup device or your PC. Because it's possible they will get corrupted after a couple of weeks or months, sometimes even if you're not going to be booting them up. So we're only having a speaker and mono over there. At the top we're finding some LED indications, and we do have the option for an HDMI out, a mini. The on and off switch is over here that we can hold for powering on the device. And if you're going to be normally powering on, sometimes it will showcase the LEDs, but you can see Embryonic logo is going to be showing. Reset button is over here, and yeah, volume control. At the bottom we're finding the OTG port, but also the DC input and the headphone jack. So everything is quite nicely placed, and that's kind of nice. So that's just great. Search, that is one very cool feature. Something I personally find very convenient, and that's one of the things I love about this firmware. Where it's not the best one maybe out there, this works quite easy. So let's say we're going to be searching for a Sonic game. So in here we're finding the option for what kind of platform, but also what kind of emulator. So this is just the standalone emulator, and here it shows RA, meaning that's going to be loading through RetroArch, and you can just boot up your game fairly easy, and we can just play our games. It will need in a couple of seconds, but the overall performance is quite good. So if you're going to be using the normal, let's say the standalone emulator, in here we're having the very nice looking option for quick load, quick save. We can even have different, let's say just filters over it. Putting it on fast will give you the original filter, full HD, and in here we're having, it seems that you're having a turbo delay or some kind. So going to be back to the game itself, and you can just easily play the game. And I can tell you that the overall emulation performance, depending on what kind of emulator, I've noticed that some emulators throughout, let's say the standard emulator menu, do have problems. Or we're only having one speaker at the front, like the original Game Boy, the audio quality is quite good. And goes really loud. So when it comes to, let's say, playing some games on this is just great. So where I mostly play these, let's say, devices with some old school Game Boy Advance and Sega Genesis, is absolutely awesome. The display of the handheld looks absolutely amazing. But how is it navigating through a beat 'em up? So first test. I love the resistance of the D-pad. It's just the right spot when it comes to that. It's not too flexible, it's not too sturdy. It's great, I like it. I like it a lot. But emulation performance on these simple things are just fine. Take note, if you want to play the more demanding main games, they will not run on this. We need a mini PC for that. Think about Tekken, Killer Instinct, stuff like that. Okay, so let's make a quick save. Okay. D-pad doesn't work like it should be, but let's get into the analog stick. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm quite surprised how good it actually runs.
To start racing,
What?
select Start the Race from the pause screen menu.
But I think it's still that weird thing going on when the input is still messed up. So let's give this thing a full reset when it comes to, let's say, the device itself. And let's see if the bloody thing still does the same thing. You know, that is the stuff that happens. And I love it when it happens in the video. So it gives me a reason to just slap it. To whip at this thing. But getting into the PlayStation Portable, I think it's quite interesting to see how good overall performance we're getting now. Not everything like on God of War will run perfectly, so pressing the M button will have you the option to get all the kinds of cool, fancy, let's say extra options to mess around with the settings. So the frame skip have been set to 1 with this, and let's see how it will overall perform. The first thing I want to do is show the FPS counter, and let's start some overall gaming. And whoa, this thing is really loud. What I do find very cool that it fills up the screen. So the aspect ratio is not the same like the PlayStation Portable. So technically that's going to be slightly deformed when it comes to, let's say, the aspect ratio of the original screen. But you can just see frame skip is enabled. So we're not going to get a great overall performance, but it's playable. Joystick and the D-pad can be played. But so far so good. And the reason I wanted to do the drifting, just to see how responsive the buttons are. Yep, no problem there. So I'm quite surprised how good the audio is, and where we do have a lot of, like, say, frame dips, some of the games will still be playable. But getting into the game, I just wanted to show a little bit of a gameplay. Another PlayStation Portable game. Where we do have the same performance, maybe slightly better than Ridge Racer. Even with the TVO function, we have the option to actually play these games. What we can always do is getting into the menu, try to fix the aspect ratio when using this TVO, but you need to be careful with this. It's highly possible if you're going to be doing this, it's going to be completely messing up the system. However, but we can enjoy some PlayStation Portable. Let's go out of this and go back through the menu. So this is unfortunate the way how we need to shut down PlayStation Portable, the PP emulator, and then we can just go back to the main menu itself. But at this point we can actually play so many different games that are running perfectly on native resolution. And the same goes for, like, say, the Grand Theft Auto 2 over here. Oh man, I've been playing this game so freaking much back in the days. It was such a cool game. When I started the PlayStation 1 GTA 2, I was completely addicted. It was so cool to drive around in a free roaming game. Where I love PlayStation 2 and a GTA 3, I must say that I still have like a really nostalgia vibes. And one of the cool things, I can still remember, the PC version had the option to even go a local AR network and having all kinds of people joining and have a lot of fun. But yeah. I want to get and take you for a ride. Oh yep, because we do have this awesome Marvelous Capcom through the Dreamcast emulator. I think we'll live in just an amazing time where we're having these, I would say, affordable devices that are good quality, and we can even play now some freaking Sega Dreamcast. And so there are many games that run. We do have some minor hiccups when I've noticed with getting into the game, but not to the point like this. That's not going to be super annoying. And I wouldn't be surprised with different software, it's going to be way better.